Seems like neediness-stricken Kevin Tracker got so unsteady in his way of behaving that he moves between various extremes, attempting to blackmail additional cash from his ex Wendy Williams. After he understood that undermining and hauling Wendy to court won't determine his monetary issues, he made the last endeavor to wipe the slate clean and return to talking about things cordial well. I bet that he essentially has no cash passed on to go through another conference. Yet what is Wendy's take on her ex's conciliatory sentiments? Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live Station. I keep my eyes on the most examined occasions in the entertainment biz, and continuously present to you the most sultry updates. So Kevin Tracker has proactively had a go at all that to get additional coins from Wendy Williams. Yet even the equity framework wasn't his ally. And presently, with the news that his child mother, Serena Hudson, is gathering her sacks, he understood that he was abandoned. With no cash in his pockets, so this man saw as nothing better than to get back to Wendy and apologize for his bad behaviors. Try to remain for the rest of this video to figure out Wendy's opinion on this. So when Wendy Williams petitioned for legal separation, back in 2019, she at long last understood that she had enough of her duping spouse, yet clearly, Kevin didn't get enough of her since he actually anticipates that his ex should tackle his monetary issues, regardless of whether he currently lives with another lady, yet when all else fails. Compromise is unavoidable, and since Kevin is currently pushed to a corner and left without a solitary dime, he felt the time had come to carry his expressions of remorse to Wendy. Yet, does he truly mean it? Or is he flapping his gums in the desire to deceive his debilitated ex? I accept it could be one more plot of his since back in 2019. Kevin previously apologized to Wendy for cheating. He actually took off to live with his paramour after that, so Kevin is clearly not an upright man, since anything he says he doesn't mean it. Perhaps being confronted with dispossession and liquidation, he concluded the time had come to play an aristocrat and come to a friendly concurrence with Wendy anyway. He probably failed to remember how he had been betraying her for a long time and giving his escort extravagance gifts without regard to his significant other. I can't help thinking about what sort of expression of remorse he can propose to make up for that, since everybody previously saw what a husband who was problematic and untrustworthy. Yet Kevin continued onward with his life, like nothing enormous had occurred, and surprisingly, referenced that he and Wendy would constantly be a family in this proclamation. After the separation, Kevin said, regardless of what the result is or what's on the horizon, we are as yet a Tracker family, and I will keep on working with and completely support my better half in this business. And through all possible snags she might confront, carrying on with her new existence of balanced, pleasant words. Kevin truly sweet, yet for what reason didn't he adhere to your commitment on the grounds that rather he took advantage of Wendy big time first, by consenting to get provision checks from her and afterward, by recording a situation when this cash quit coming great to me. His activities don't compare to his words. And on second thought of guaranteed help and work, he proceeded to transparently live off Wendy, even after she personally lost her employment, and pay, as you most likely are aware Wendy's show was dropped with next to no desire for returning on television. And she got no remuneration for her agreement, and dislike. It was a too stressing thing for Wendy, since she is fundamentally a mogul and can partake in her life in extravagance without working a solitary day, which I can't say about Kevin Tracker, who had another family to help, and obviously his ledger was drying up rapidly, obviously on the off chance that you have such a reprobate lady like Serena Hudson close by. And in the event that my supposition is right, Serena wouldn't scale down and reduction her shopping cravings. Kid, this young lady has tasted the existence of a superstar and couldn't track down the solidarity to let it go, so Kevin was conflicted between Serena's developing requests and his own craving to live like a ruler, and he tracked down the most ideal way to get the cash out, to take it from Wendy by all means. And for this man, there are no lines he can't cross crying, compromising assuming praise, or in any event. Assuming that you recall the start of this cash outrage, when provision checks had quit coming, Kevin offered a public expression, guaranteeing that he had fallen behind on a large portion of his bills and couldn't pay for his vehicle protection and hip medical procedure. Most of the people who followed this show starting from the start don't have a solitary drop of compassion toward him. One fan remarked Kevin truly thought he had Wendy sufficiently whipped to pay for his side child and money his escort, like say that sluggish on the grounds that he insane. And someone else composed he ought to have been setting aside his cash you can't proceed to utilize and live off someone like that kid. By go find a new line of work. While whimpering didn't help, Kevin went to additional conclusive activities and prosecuted Wendy, trusting the adjudicator will leave his tragic account about being destitute, yet as we probably are aware, Kevin lost. And the adjudicator dismissed his request to continue support. Well, this is a triumph for Wendy, and perhaps it made Tracker change his system, seeing that his life is in a real sense self-destructing without her. And since the appointed authority unequivocally prescribed taking this case to intercession, Kevin chose to apologize. And who knows, perhaps he can attempt to work on his relationship with Wendy so he can pleasantly get some information about cash in a public proclamation. Kevin said, "I'm not glad for my recent activities and take full responsibility and apologize to my significant other, my family, and her astonishing fans. Well, I simply trust that Wendy sees directly through him and doesn't succumb to this on the grounds that Kevin's conciliatory sentiments sound so phony, and who will accept him now when they were isolated for over 2 years? And he even figured out how to wreck his ex, much more with his past bold assertions, like when he called himself the Lord behind the purple seed, and gave credit to his Miss Serena for Wendy's show. Perhaps this statement of regret is one more huge plot to mislead Wendy once more and give her bogus expectation for a quiet existence. Without claims, Kevin unquestionably feel embarrassed after the court and needs retribution since Wendy previously played him with divorce settlement and surprisingly won in court. And this may really be one more filthy plan to draw nearer to Wendy's millions. Well, to many Wendy's fans, these expressions of remorse sound like another trick. Kevin ought to presumably go to a few acting classes prior to shooting himself in tears again, on the grounds that nobody has confidence in his regret. Fans cook him via virtual entertainment for attempting to meddle with Wendy. Even 2 years after the separation, one individual composed lies, "Serena's proceeded to leave you with nothing. How might you venture to apologize?" Wendy triumphed. When it's all said and done, and Kevin, you got what you really asked for. I'm certain Wendy won't ever trust from now onward. And another fan remarked, Wendy avoid